What's happening, man? What's happening? Mm, man. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. We got a great show for you guys tonight, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. What it do? Shout out D from Boston. Far from handsome. H&M. Yeah, I heard about that shit. Tiniest Squish. Roger Wood. Oakview. Roger W. Everybody in the building, man. Shout out to all y'all, man.
Maryland mother is behind bars in Pennsylvania after ICE arrested her in Baltimore.
The woman's 18-year-old daughter captured the dramatic video of her arrest. Fox Live's chief legal correspondent Katie Barlow has been following this story. Katie, what's the latest?
Hey, good evening, guys. Elsie Barrios was arrested on March 31st by a pair of ICE agents who actually broke through her driver's side window to get inside the car. And her daughter, who's 18 years old, was riding with her in the car, captured the entire incident on her iPhone. And then Barrios asked the agents to see a warrant for her arrest. She says she never saw one. ICE says she's been in the country illegally since 2017. We have to warn you, parts of this video are difficult to watch.
You guys cannot take her just
because they serious. They broke that window. Hey, listen, man. Why is you riding around? Like, why is she? Listen, you supposed to act like you want to run. You just going to Target and shit in the middle of the day. Like you not in here illegally, man. See, I mean, a piece of me feels sorry for her because, you know, I mean, she leaving her kids behind. Now, of course, they can all go together if they want, but you know what's going on, man. At some point, you know what's going on. You got to move stealthily, man. You just going to Target. Oh, yeah, we need to, oh, man, I need some baking soda. Let's run to Target. What? Oh, man, I need some paper plates. Let's run to Target. What? Bitch, you in a whole nother country illegally, man.
In 2017. We have to warn you, parts of this video are difficult to watch.
What's your You guys cannot take her just because you guys want
No te preocupes, Karen, no te preocupes. Tranquilo. Tranquila, mamá.
Tequila,
Háblale a Ulises.
calm down.
Oh,
She look like a black. She look like she black and shit. She the blackest looking on burrito ever, man. She look like her name Shirley, man.
El carro.
oh my God.
¿Oíste? No te preocupes, mi amor. Yo estoy bien.
Mami, ellos no pueden.
Barrios is from El Salvador and is seeking asylum in the United
Good.
States. Her lawyers say she was on her way to work on the morning of March 31st before ICE agents pulled her over. ICE is currently under a settlement order that prohibits warrantless arrests unless they can provide evidence that the individual is a flight risk. ICE says that Elsie Barrios is an illegal alien, Salvadoran national, and an affiliate of the violent transnational street gang MS-13.
Oh wow.
Border Patrol arrested Barrios in 2017 after she illegally entered the country. She was transported and under expedited removal. A DOJ immigration judge issued a notice for her to appear, and then she was released from custody in February 2017 under the ICE Alternatives to Detention program. Now, Barrios has a hearing coming up in New Jersey on Monday.
Go. You just spoke with her lawyer. What did she say?
She said that she hasn't seen an arrest play out like this before. She also says that her client is not an affiliate of MS-13, and she doesn't know where DHS is getting that information. They look forward to finding out more information and hope to at the hearing on Monday.
All right. Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, man. I'll see you later, man. Damn.
Breaking news here at 5 o'clock. A confrontation with shoplifters ends with a man losing his life in South El Monte. Now a search is on for 3 suspects who got away. Good evening. Welcome to Fox 7 News at 5, simulcast on Fox 11 and Fox 11 Plus. I'm Alex Michelson.
And I'm Susan Hirosuna here for Christine Devine. Fox 11's Gina Silva is live with what happened today. Gina.
That's right. We're at the Giant Discount Store, and right outside, just take a look. That is the scene right there. You can see investigators. They are here. They've been trying to collect footage from security cameras. What the thief walked away with was a $10 box of surgical masks. We spoke with the victim's brother. He says that this store here has been hit many times by shoplifters.
A $10 box of surgical masks. It's the principle, though, man. The guy's trying to, stop shoplifters, man. I mean, damn, though. Like, shit, you got whacked over a $10 box of surgical masks.
It's a small business. It's a one business. How you can survive? And losing my younger brother to
A heartbroken business owner describing the pain of losing his brother. You can.
That's the family coming down there. Oh, the dad. That's so sad, man. Coming down there like, yo, what's happening?
Losing my younger brother to
A heartbroken business owner describing the pain of losing his brother. You can see the victim's family being held back by deputies outside of the Giant Discount Store in South El Monte. They've identified the victim as...
That motherfucker look like a mobster, man. Paulie. Shout out to LRS, man. Big Larry in the building. Look like straight out of Central Casting, man. Hey, next time one of these Marigons, next time one of these fucking Moyons comes in here and tries to rip us off, I'm gonna take his head and stick it up his ass. Hey!
They've identified the victim as 63-year-old Karash Yagubi. His brother, Jamshid, called Fox 11 News to tell us Khosrow had been killed by a shoplifter. He says the thief asked to see their selection of face coverings, chose the black ones, and then walked out without paying. When Jamshid and his brother followed him to confront him, to ask him to pay, here's what he says happened next.
The guy punched him in the head and knocked him down. My brother hit the asphalt. They jumped in the car. They put it in a reverse. They ran over my brother's body. He was under the car. Then they put it in a gear. And one more time, my brother rolled under the car, and they ran away. And my brother's scalp was, I think, was open, bleeding.
Who did this, man? What race did this, man? What race is about to do a life sentence over a $10 box of masks, man? Give me the race of these people doing a life sentence over a $10 box of masks. Shout out to S Freak, man. He said, I swear Umbritos are just as entitled and manipulative as sons. Yeah, well, the Umbritos always they don't know how to speak English all of a sudden. No English. They don't never understand shit. They're always confused and shit. Umbritos always not play like they confused. Like, nah, motherfucker, you ain't confused. You know what the fuck going on. You know what the fuck going on.
Karash Yagubi died at the scene. He is still here. His body is still here. They are waiting for the coroner to arrive. 3 suspects are still on the run. They fled in a light blue Honda vehicle. The suspects are described as Latino. If you know anything about this case,
oh, they Latinos. 1 for the sun, man. Score 1 for the sun, man.
you're asked to contact the LA County Sheriff's Department. And sadly, this is not the first time this family loses a brother in horrific circumstances like this. In 2021, they also had a brother who was just came outside of his home, and he was attacked by a random person, struck in the head, fell down, and then he ended up getting beat up, and he died as well. So it's just so much tragedy that has affected this family here, and we'll have a lot more on that later in the newscast.
So Gina, basically all they took was those masks?
That's all they took. And the reason that they decided to confront them was because they have been hit by shoplifters so many times. And what they explained was that sometimes you go up to a shoplifter and say, hey, you didn't pay for that. And sometimes they pay, or they leave the item and walk away. That's what they thought was going to happen today. Unfortunately, in this case, it didn't. And a younger brother is now dead.
Nah, these Aztecs was like, nah, fuck that, man.
4 teenagers have been charged in a mass shooting that killed 3 people and injured 3 more at a Spotsylvania apartment complex. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Julie Bragg.
And I'm Bill Fitzgerald. Our Cameron Thompson shares what we know about the suspects and the people who were killed. And he spoke to a man who lives there, who's shaken by what happened.
It's crazy, because I ain't never seen nothing like that at all.
A sense of disbelief and relief in the Spotsylvania neighborhood.
And with all the stray bullets and everything going on, I just want to thank God, by the grace of God, that none of them kids was out here.
A day.
Little Romeo. Damn, these brothers right here going on camera talking about a crime. That tells me that the niggas who did this shit probably wasn't from around here. The niggas who did this weren't from around here. Because young black men don't usually go on camera talk about crime.
By what happened?
It's crazy, cause I ain't never seen nothing like that at all.
A sense of disbelief and relief in the Spotsylvania neighborhood.
And with all the stray bullets and everything going on, I just want to thank God, by the grace of God, that none of them kids was out here.
A day after a gun battle erupted on this stretch of Old Greenwich Circle that left 3 people dead and 4 arrested, the majority of them teenagers.
It sounded like I was playing a video game. Like it sounded like one of the Call of Duty games.
And the remnants of which neighbors began to clean up Wednesday, including shattered glass, bloodstains, and bullet holes. Spotsylvania Sheriff's Office says the shooting happened around 5:30 p.m. and it appears it started as an illegal gun sale that turned into a robbery, then shootout.
That was some crazy. There was at least 100 shots going off. That's what it sounded like, just back to back to back to back.
Doorbell camera and cell phone video from neighbors given to CBS 6 shows some of the aftermath, starting with 2 people holding long guns, walking back towards the area where the shooting happened. It appears blood soaked the arm of one of them.
They were big-ass guns. Like, that's not normal. They were ready to kill somebody.
The 2 people can then be seen stopping and running back in the other direction. Another neighbor who didn't want to go on camera says those 2 were stopped and arrested in front of her door, and the guns were left leaning on her fence. She says she came home right after the shooting happened and found bullets had ripped through her house.
It traumatized me.
Or at least I thought it had space.
Because I could have been in the kitchen and those bullets could have went through my window and killed me.
Law enforcement says in total 3 people were killed in the shooting. Chase Feaster and Alonzo Goffney, both are 18 and from Spotsylvania. A 20-year-old man was also killed but hasn't been identified.
Chase Feaster is a white boy, man. Chase Feaster is a white boy. Alonzo Goffney sound like a brother. The 20-year-old man, I don't know.
Hasn't been identified. Video obtained by CBS 6's John Burkett shows 2 suspects in the shooting being arrested by law enforcement Wednesday evening. Their faces are blurred because of their age. The sheriff's office says 4 people have been charged in the case, 2 16-year-olds, a 17-year-old, and 18-year-old Jeremiah Upson. Right now,
it's always niggas, man. Goddamn niggas. They can't show us the other ones because they minors. You said son, the one chases the son? Maybe. Chase Feaster, though? I don't know, maybe. Three bodies on the ground. And you in charge. And listen, you gonna get charged with those bodies, boy. Boy, you getting charged with those bodies, boy. In the commission of a felony, man. Even if you didn't shoot them, you gonna get charged with those bodies. This is crazy.
all are just facing a firearm and malicious wounding charge. And with the case now in the court system, neighbors say they're just ready to get back to normal.
We forget about this and life just goes on.
And the sheriff's office says that all of those suspects are being held without bond, except for one of the 16-year-olds who's currently being treated in the hospital. But when he is released, he will be taken into custody. In Spotsylvania, Cameron Thompson, CBS 6 News.
It's crazy, because I ain't never seen nothing like that at all.
A sense of disbelief and relief in the Spotsylvania neighborhood.
And with all the stray bullets and everything going on, I just want to.
We knew it was we last night I said it was not sons. But it's looking like it was a mixed bag. Looking like it was a mixed bag. There was some sons in there, man. But it's looking like it was a mixed bag.
First at 10, an update on the breaking news that we've been following all night long. At least 6 people shot, 3 of them dead in a Spotsylvania County neighborhood.
And because of that shooting, we've just learned Fredericksburg City Schools will be on a 2-hour delay tomorrow. So why is this all connected? Let's get you out to Fox 5 Donna St. Bones.
I don't want to see that. I want to see the new story.
Date on another big story in Spotsylvania County tonight. 4 teens are facing charges after a shooting that killed 3 people. Now, we first told you about this last night on the news at 6.
Yeah, and now we're getting some new video from neighbors. Really shocking here from moments before this shooting. You can see 2 people with long guns there walking right through a parking lot. Wow. As our Matthew Torres explains tonight.
The one in the gray, he ain't no son. The one in the gray, remember the one last night I was like, he don't look like a son. The way he walk, he don't walk like a son. Remember I said that? Press 1. If you remember I said that last night. I said this one he don't have the bop or the features or walk or look like a son. Let me show you him. On Brito, man. On Brito. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Continue to hit that like button, man. 150, man. 150 likes to unlock that door, man. 150 likes to unlock the door, man. Yeah, that's a Sandman. Might be, yeah. Might be a Sandman or, yeah, kind of tall, yeah. Might be a Sandman. Yeah, the ghettoification of Spotsylvania County. Spotsylvania County is has been ghettofied for a while, man. Son's been done. Look, the day before, these parents were charged after a student brought a gun to school and accidentally fired it. If you go to a PTA meeting and see these motherfuckers, man. Like, God damn. God damn. Everybody hit that like button, man. Smash that like button, man.
Through a parking lot. Wow. As our Matthew Torres explains tonight, deputies say the shooting happened during an illegal gun sale and robbery.
The sheriff's office says 3 of the suspects are being held in jail without bond. The 4th is still in the hospital being treated for gunshot wounds. At this hour, cleanup is still underway. You can see here at this one home how many bullets hit this window. 1, 2, 3, and 4.
How am I feeling? Overwhelmed.
There's an overbearing feeling in this community.
Overwhelmed. All right, so we know what happened there, man. We know what happened there, man. Sons, man. We need more news. We'll come back to it.
A federal gun charge against the man suspected in the murders of 3 people, including a 9.
Damn, man. It's Detroit, man. God damn, man.
A federal gun charge against the man suspected in the murders of 3 people, including a 9-year-old girl, tonight. A new 7-page complaint shows how police were able to catch 29-year-old Edward Redding on Sunday.
Redding was arrested after leading state police on a chase in Detroit. Meanwhile, federal prosecutors say he's the prime suspect in the death of his ex-girlfriend, her mother, and his ex-girlfriend's niece. Their bodies were discovered in a burned-out car Sunday in the area of 30th and Milford on the city's west side. Erica Erickson joins us live. And Erica, that complaint has shed new light on what happened here.
Yeah, it certainly has. We saw Redding in court. He was wearing a beige jumpsuit. He had chains around his wrists, his waist, his ankles. He's hearing the charges against him in federal court. Take a listen to the details.
An unimaginable scene on Detroit's west side, a charred car, 3 lives taken. Now, the man suspected in that triple homicide arraigned Tuesday on a federal charge of a felon in possession. This all stemming from that horrific scene early Sunday, what Detroit police are investigating as a triple homicide. 3 bodies found inside a torched car. Sources say Redding's 44-year-old ex-girlfriend and her mother were found shot in the head in the back of the burned car. And his ex-girlfriend's 9-year-old niece also found with her throat slashed in the back seat, all of them set on fire. Sources say his ex-girlfriend had been babysitting, but her nephew was not hurt in the home. Court documents say within 25 minutes of 911 calls, the Detroit Homicide Task Force able to track a silver Saturn Vue to Edward Redding. When trying to stop him, they say he took off southbound on I-75, driving on the shoulder and into oncoming traffic, and then exiting and running red lights, trying to get away. Redding losing control and crashing into a median. Police say he tried to run again, but troopers arresting him and finding a black Smith & Wesson .38 caliber revolver inside a brown bag on the front passenger side floor. Redding police say later admitting to seeing and touching the gun, but says he ran because he was on parole and wanted to return the gun, manufactured outside of the state, to its owner. The 29-year-old convicted felon out on parole from offenses in 2010, including armed robbery, carjacking, and felony firearm. Redding record shows sentenced to 11 to 22 years in prison and serving roughly 13 of them. Sources say he even tried to control his ex-girlfriend he's suspected of killing while behind bars, telling her where to be and what time to be there.
This nigga, it's a bad motherfucker, man. He did 13 years, came home, killed the ex-girlfriend, her mother, and her niece.
There's a lot of moving parts to this. As far as the federal case goes, we're told he's due back in court on Thursday for a bond hearing. Now, we're also told this gives Detroit police time to work on that homicide investigation that he's linked to. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Wow.
Just describe, if you can, describe Ava for me.
It's
okay.
She was amazing. The best daughter you probably could have asked for. Funny, smart, witty, sassy. She said she wanted to be a gymnast, gymnast, gymnastics, arts and crafts. She was just a great kid all around. I never had, this was just my baby girl.
Okay. And then your mom, your sister.
My mom and my sister, those were my biggest support systems. Anytime I ever needed them, I could always call on them. My mom, she's a mom. She's always there. And my sister, always there. Any call, just always there.
And so if you can take me back to, would it be Saturday night?
No, I was on vacation. So my mom and my sister purposely were trying to not to contact me a lot just because that was supposed to be my break. And the last time I was talking to both of them was around 2:30. And the last message I told my mom was my flight was delayed. So I will be coming back later on Sunday. I didn't talk with them that Sunday morning. And once I got to the airport and got back, so with my connecting flight, I had got a phone call from my sister's friend asking if I talked to my sister or my mom. And that made me call them. And that's just when everything just unraveled. And I found out that they were missing. And it's just, my world's just been turned upside down ever since that call.
And then you got back.
I got back. I got back and I seen the news, the car. I asked my friends, I asked my daughter's friend if she was there. I called her dad, asked if she was over there. And no one had heard from anybody. Constantly calling my mom, phone going straight to voicemail. Well, no, she just wasn't answering. And then I asked to check my house, to check the apartment that my mom was staying in, and the car wasn't there. And once I actually seen the car, I just knew it was them. I didn't know it was them, but I knew it was the car. And just kind of piecing things together, hoping that it wasn't them. But as time went on and calls still weren't being answered, it's just, you kind of sit with the reality that it might be them. And today, with my daughter's dental records, they confirmed that it was my daughter in the car. One of the bodies that were in the car. They still haven't confirmed that it's my mom and my sister, but I'm pretty sure it's them too.
So going back to, they have someone in custody.
Yeah.
What is this person's connection?
My sister's boyfriend. They fought and argued a lot. Just typical. I don't want to say typical, but it's not typical. Multiple occasions she tried to leave him. He wouldn't. He would always find his way back. He was on parole, and she kept saying that she didn't want him to go back to jail, so she didn't want to call his parole officer. The last time I told her about their relationship, I told her if she wanted to be done and if she was really truly scared of him, tired of him, didn't want to be with him, that she would have to do the unfortunate thing with calling his parole officer. And she didn't. She said that she would try to coexist with him. So I do know that they were still living together. She said on multiple occasions that they weren't together. And it's just,
Was he physically abusive with her?
and they physically had multiple fights before.
Tell him about the time where he was allegedly about to kill her. Prior to that, she was in the house being strangled, and she came in to kind of like break the fight up because they live right beside each other. And Courtney swore that she would have died that day had Launcher didn't go inside the house and break the fight up. So.
Okay. Now we have three lives.
3 lives gone. Yeah. 3 generations. A twin, my mom's twin. A 9-year-old, a baby, an innocent child.
A federal gun charge against the man suspected in the murders of 3 people, including.
Wow.
Starts right now.
First tonight, people could have been hurt or worse after February's shootout in a downtown Orlando parking garage. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse Pagan.
I'm Summer Knowles. Police just released some of the video of what happened. West 2's Gail Pascal Brown joins us live outside the garage right now. And Gail, you asked residents about any safety concerns. What did they tell you?
I did, Summer, and they said they feel safe. They feel just fine here and protected in this neighborhood on North Orange Avenue. No one was injured, and that was good news. But they also tell me that they're surprised that something like this happened in their neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
And those boxes, police say, are full of cannabis. We showed Manny Bermudez a security video Orlando police released Wednesday. Officers responded to a shooting around 2 a.m. on February 4th in the Central Station parking. The parking garage is in the middle of Central Station on Orange Apartments.
That does raise some concerns as far as like maybe security in the parking garage.
The shooting happened on the 4th floor of the parking garage. You can see the suspects jumping out of a car and hustling to get boxes of marijuana inside a car, stolen from a group. Police say one suspect in the Hyundai was seen firing a handgun. One of those suspects also fired a gun during the exchange.
Like overnight, we do have security people like walking the premises overnight. So I don't know how that happens.
Grant Zerby and his dog Dexter were home when the shooting happened. Did you hear anything or see anything?
I didn't, but there's loud noises everywhere. Like my dog's barking right now. He's crazy.
As far as my safety, I mean, I haven't had any problems or anything like that. I do feel safe here. I think it's a good community. That is surprising, though.
6 people were arrested, including one taken after a foot pursuit. The charges include attempted felony murder, armed robbery, and
wow. Wow. Wow.
conspiracy to traffic a controlled substance. What about your safety? Are you concerned? Why or why not?
A little bit. I mean, I feel safe with my apartment complex. They have like the safety measures in place, so not too concerned.
Police took the 16 pounds of pot into evidence, along with a 9mm magazine and a black mask, both found inside one of the cars. Now, Orlando police investigators say this case is not over and there could be more charges. Covering Orange County, live in Orlando, I'm.
Wow.
It's time for today's face-off
Hit
on
the like
Fox
button,
Soul.
man. Smash the
Challengers
like button.
Quan
150
LX
likes.
and Big Angry Adams.
150 likes to unlock the doors. 150 likes to unlock the doors, man. Smash the like button, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chat. Share the video, hit the like button, all that good shit.
It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams. Ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
that he did it in self-defense.
New documents detail what happened before and after 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony allegedly pulled a knife from his backpack and stabbed him. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now live with the latest. Alex.
Hey guys, and in that 7-page arrest warrant affidavit, several witnesses, including Metcalf's twin brother, describe how that deadly encounter went down. The suspect then reportedly admitted to a Frisco police officer who detained him that he had stabbed Metcalf.
My son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed.
The pain is still raw for the Metcalf family after 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed on Wednesday morning at a UIL District 11-5A track meet in Frisco. Here's what happened according to witnesses and the police report. Metcalf got into an argument with the suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Metcalf told Anthony he needed to move from under the team's tent.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
Anthony opened his bag and reached inside and said to Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens." Metcalf reportedly grabbed Anthony and told him to move.
He knew he wasn't supposed to be there. It was just a tragedy what happened.
That's when Anthony pulled out a black knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest once before running away. When Anthony was taken into custody.
Here's Quanell X.
Charles, we just watched a segment here discussing the tragic loss of life of a young high school student in Frisco, Texas at a track meet. And watching that newscast, it upsets me because that newscast is full of damn lies. This is a tragic situation where a young man lost his life, yes. But young Karmelo Anthony, in this case, the young man who's been charged with murder, he did not assault anyone in the beginning. He didn't start this fight. The young man approached him with his brother, threatening Karmelo to move out of a spot that was not assigned to anybody. Where Karmelo was sitting, he had a right to be sitting. There was no assigned seating anywhere in the stadium that excluded students from sitting in certain areas. Then when they went to Karmelo, he was threatened by both brothers. And he told them, "Don't put your hands on me." And they threatened to put their hands on him. And he told them, "If you put your hands on me, watch what happens." The white kid, in this case, punched Karmelo in the face. He didn't push him. He punched him in the face. And then that young man defended himself. And unfortunately, a young student lost his life. But Charles, in the state of Texas, you have a right to stand your ground. And if you are the victim of a vicious attack, you can use deadly force if necessary to protect yourself and your life, to stop you from becoming a further victim of an assault or a crime. Why is this young man in jail when he didn't start it? He didn't approach anyone. They approached him. They used profane language toward him. They threatened him and then assaulted him, and he defended himself. Why is he in jail? He defended himself from a vicious attack and assault. So this young man, in my opinion, should not be in jail. Teach your children. Keep your hands to yourself. That's what needs to be taught here. And to tell this young brother to give up your seat, give me your seat. This ain't no damn Rosa Parks era. You just can't go to a young black man and say, give up your seat. He had a right to sit there. And so that brother had his back of the bus moment and refused to give up his seat, and it cost that young white kid his life.
I rarely say this, Quanell. I sometimes internalize it, but shame on you. How absolutely despicable for you to sit here and try to draw this false equivalency between Rosa Parks and this scumbag murderer, right? Shame on you for living a life defined by make-believe racial grievance that you seek a pulpit to lie to people. And let's talk about those lies. Even if you assume everything that is coming out of the Karmelo Anthony camp, even if you assume all of that is true, under the laws of the state of Texas, he is still absolutely guilty of murder, period. Like, you can assume all the fabrications are true. It's still murder, right? You do not have a right to use deadly force in response to a shove or a punch. Now, mind you, all the witness statements are saying it was a shove that was goaded, but let's assume everyone's lying and this murderer is telling the truth. You still can't, because the scenario, what you're advocating for and, pulling Rosa Parks into, is that every time someone walks through a club and someone shoves them or bumps them, you can pull out a knife and stab them in the heart and kill them. And I have no doubt that more is going to come out of Karmelo Anthony. That more evidence. Now, there are rumors that I don't want to regurgitate.
Oh, please
talk.
do.
No.
Please
let's
do.
talk about what has been sold. That you sent me this weekend when we were discussing it. You sent me the statement by the police chief that turned out to be just fabricated. Somebody out there making believe the FBI is now involved, right? And that people are regurgitating all over social media. And it's all driven on racial lines. You are the one that was calling for Daniel Penny to go to prison for life. Now, mind you, we have this new spectacular game in America, right, where we play white man always bad and evil, black man always good, no matter what happens. The truth is, my feelings on this, if it was a white young man who brought a knife to school, went to someone else's tent, started being a jackleg, refused to move out, and then pulled out a knife and jabbed it in someone's heart, I would call him a murderer. And if a white kid did exactly what Karmelo Anthony did to a black kid, you would be out here marching in the streets.
Oh, no, I would not
People would
be.
burning your lying through your teeth.
George Zimmerman with the Trayvon Martin and put his hands on that kid who was doing nothing wrong. And you same white folks found George Zimmerman not guilty of murder when Trayvon was defending himself. Right here in Texas, you've had many cases where white men have been assaulted by black men. They use deadly force and they're not charged.
Why are you talking about something else?
You cannot
Why are you
tell
lying
me.
about my position, you despicable, shameless liar?
He
Go
was
ahead,
assaulted.
liar.
That young man was assaulted. He was threatened more than one time. He was asked to move from an area he had a right to sit in. He didn't approach nobody. He didn't threaten nobody. That young man, after being threatened continuously 3 times in a row, was punched in the face. He had a right to defend himself. So don't tell me that this young man can be threatened multiple times and physically punched and assaulted, and he ain't got a right to put his hands in self-defense on the person assaulting him. And he can use whatever force is necessary to stop the attack.
Why do you just
You
lie
brought up Daniel
all the
Penny.
time?
You brought up Daniel
I
Penny.
did.
Daniel Penny choked the young man to death on the subway. But that young man hadn't assaulted anybody. He was making threats, but he physically didn't touch anyone. This case was threats backed up by a physical attack and assault that this young man put on that young black brother. That young black brother had a right to defend himself when he was beyond threatened but viciously attacked.
Well, there's another key difference, right? Mr. Penny, right, had a crazy guy going up and screaming and yelling and threatening to kill people, an unhinged guy that should have probably been in a hospital.
The same thing the white boy did to Karmelo Anthony.
Not screaming over you. Let me finish, right? And Daniel Penny, not using a deadly weapon, restrained him. And I said from the very beginning, there's a real question about where the line was drawn and what he did and if he was alive. Now, the medical examiner came out and they said it turns out that the fellow was still alive when Mr. Penny let him go. But that was a very nuanced situation. But here's a big nuance. I mean, something that you're ignoring is it didn't involve a deadly weapon. But let's talk about examples. So Daniel Penny put up a GoFundMe and it got taken down. Oh, it can't be up, right? The Anthony family, the wonderful Anthony family that raised this murderer, did such a wonderful job. This defender, right, of liberty, this new Rosa Parks for 2025, as you call him. They put a GoFundMe up for $100,000. It didn't get taken down. The moment, minutes after it got the $100,000, they jacked it up for more money because it's all just a con.
George
it's
Zimmerman
all just
raised
$1
million
that
was donated to him after killing Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse, after
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Let me drop the link, man. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, man? Here we go. Link in the description box, man. What is that? Right, Joel Zimmerman. Joel Zimmerman. The fuck? Joel Zimmerman. Black people be comparing different cases in different states. They act like the only people ever got arrested are those damn fucking BLM fucking poster children.
What he did, and if he was alive. Now,
this white boy right here, though, he got some balls, man. He must be fucking Hispanic or something, and just goddamn look like he white, man. This is a white dude with some testicles, man.
A medical examiner came out and they said it turns out that the fellow was still alive when Mr. Penny let him go. But that was a very nuanced situation. But here's a big nuance. I mean, something that you're ignoring is it didn't involve a deadly weapon. But let's talk about examples. So Daniel Penny put up a GoFundMe and it got taken down. Oh, it can't be up, right? The Anthony family, the wonderful Anthony family that raised this murderer, did such a wonderful job. This defender, right, of liberty, this new Rosa Parks for 2025, as you call him. They put a GoFundMe up for $100,000. It didn't get taken down. The moment, minutes after it got the $100,000, they jacked it up for more money because it's all just a con.
George
It's
Zimmerman
all just
raised
a con.
$1 million
that
was donated to him after killing Trayvon Martin. Kyle Rittenhouse, after he killed 2 people in cold blood, he raised over $1 million. Wait a minute.
Let's
the
talk about
officer
that.
who killed Michael Brown, he raised almost $2 million. So don't tell me that when black folks decide to put money and support behind a young brother who didn't start a fight, who didn't threaten no.
It ain't black folk. It's mostly Jews and white liberals that's donating that money, I bet. What do y'all think?
I think it's a combination of all of them. Really, truth that's donating the money. But
Really?
yeah, you know, I mean, you see, like, I mean, I wouldn't put it past like the blacks to like throw money behind this, but what do you think, KB?
I think the Sun people have never exposed themselves harder than they are right now. And we'll see if people are paying attention.
Mm.
The Suns have always exposed themselves, but like, you know, it's never been, I don't know, it's never gotten the kind of attention that it has now. Like they haven't been
This is a critical mass of Sun people.
They haven't, like, you know, they haven't gotten this much pushback as they have right now since like the days of old, you know.
Yeah.
The bar is low, though. The bar is low. Suns on it. A lot isn't expected from Suns. So we get to have insane behavior without people like kind of like being like completely appalled. People are rarely like just awfully appalled by Suns.
It's similar to women in that respect, that they'll act like crazy and no one will do anything.
Yeah, you know, a woman's gonna act crazy. You might have to grab her or shake her, or you know what I'm saying, hold her, pin her down until she calmed down. And bitch, later on, the bitch act like nothing ever happened. But you leave the fucking toilet seat up and she want to fucking cry to her mother about it.
Not a bad comparison.
Yeah. What's up, hot black man? I'm sure you been following this case, right?
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up how Austin slapped the cap off his head, called him the Sun word, said some shit to his girlfriend 2 weeks ago, punched him directly in the face, jumped in with the whole gang of white dudes. I mean, what
You'd think he actually did have relations with his girlfriend. Like, they would say something like that.
Just in, he had relations with his girlfriend as well.
Wow. And the mother, right? And his mom. That's where he drew the line.
And
Carmelo's
also
like,
Karmelo, you know, Austin's girlfriend liked Karmelo. So, you know, anyway, I'm sure there's a lot more going on here too.
Yeah, sons are they've made up all these fucking fake accounts and shit, or either them or Jews made up these fake accounts, or and these fake theories. This is ugly. Yeah, I will say that this shit is ugly though. This shit is hella ugly.
Nobody who was sitting where he could have right to be sitting, was threatened more than one time, was physically attacked. He defends himself, and then all of a sudden he's in jail for murder. But guess what, brother? We gonna stand behind ours like you white folks stand behind yours.
Okay, let me
that
be
young
clear.
brother was attacked.
I know you're
He
yelling
defended
because
himself.
you really get worked up when you're lying. But let me say,
big change up from how they've handled this in the past.
Right, they just jumped right back into that shit like it never, like it's like a suit. It's like a goddamn pair of shoes or some shit. Like you just
well worn in.
Still fit. Yeah, they still fit. Man.
Y'all
say
killing
very
us,
clear.
but then it's justified.
Us killing
But we defend ourselves.
Now,
it's murder.
Let's
hell with
talk.
that.
Firstly, George Zimmerman, absolutely a murderer. The officer that shot Michael Brown, there's evidence that Michael Brown attacked him. The
Why are
question
we
is,
even
there's also
talking
some
about
evidence that he was running away that was refuted.
Because
That's
that's how they do. They put he did a good job at the beginning, but he's getting pulled into deep water. You know.
Yeah, like you know what he should do? He should be talking about the black on white crime statistics. That would definitely shut him down.
Yeah, but that would be considered racist. He's getting pulled into deep water because he's exhausted. He fought back good at the beginning. You know what I mean? He held his own, but the son just got such an appetite for this shit, such a bandwidth for this type of nonsensical banter and argumentation. So. Sons are good at this, just bringing up shit, pulling out shit from left. Next, he's gonna talk about Emmett Till.
very weird situation. Exemplifies.
You know what? It takes a lot of mental. It takes a lot of mental energy to argue with sons.
Yeah,
it really does.
It does. I'm a son, and listen, man. Trust me, man. It takes it's all about getting loud and shit and especially when you consider yourself intellectual or you somebody who is trying to actually argue in good faith.
And then sometimes when you argue with them, they stand up and stab you in the heart.
Yeah, you don't have to be a intellectual.
Hold on, Mr. Liar in Chief.
No, you're the liar.
No, I'm not going to lie about
white
anything.
folk hate when black folks
You brought
defend
up George
themselves.
Zimmerman. He was prosecuted. It failed.
And white folks found him not guilty. All white
He was
jury.
absolutely a murderer, in my opinion. I disagreed with that outcome, just like I disagree with the officer that murdered Tamir Rice, not facing charges. You act like
not guilty.
You act like well, he was never charged.
A grand jury said not guilty. Let him go.
Here's the thing. You act like all.
They're comparing this to police officers. They're comparing a 17-year-old white football player to police officers. That's how infantile that blacks see themselves as. They see this 17-year-old white football player who's deader than who got whacked instantly. They put him on the same, plane as a goddamn police officer. Because blacks are always seeing themselves as victims and children and infantile in the when it comes to other races. No way you should be comparing this fucking Austin Metcalf to a fucking cop.
All white people have this one opinion. What we're only seeing in America right now is the only thing we see is the brazenness of some people. Obviously, it's not everyone. They racialize every incident, and they look at it through the prism of race, right? And for you, if you flip off the races here, you would be screaming about the entire different thing, and I'd be agreeing with you that was wrong. But you make all of your decisions based on race. Then you lie and scream and talk.
Assessment
no, it's
here,
not an assessment.
Because there's a white victim in this case.
I'm sorry,
Texas
law,
he didn't start a fight. He didn't threaten anybody.
Well, actually,
Karmelo Anthony did not threaten anybody.
Very clear.
I've talked to witnesses. I've talked to the family. I've talked to the grandfather.
I've talked to witnesses. I've talked to the family.
Carmelo Anthony's family.
Exactly.
And I've talked to his family.
You're getting paid.
And gotten
You're getting
details.
paid.
Not a
Carmelo?
penny.
Yeah,
not a penny.
yet.
But
Here's
guess
the
what?
deal.
I'll say this to you.
Don't say it.
Not only am I not getting paid, I'm sending some of my money to his defense fund.
Okay, hey,
because that young brother
let's talk
deserves
about
an adequate and thorough defense, and I'm donating to it, and I pray others do also.
So if he has such a valid defense, why are there so many lies swirling around in the slurry of social media that first it was that there was past encounters between these brothers and Mr. Anthony, his girlfriend, that they robbed Mr. Anthony, that they attacked him and beat him up, and he was looking at his life was threatened. When none of it occurred, there's very detailed witness accounts that are available.
But there's all
Why
kind of lies
did you
going on.
send me?
There are all kind of lies going on.
Actually, there's not, right?
Now,
So-
what about this one?
So I read it.
Now, this young
I'm
man
not
was
finished.
killed.
You can yell. I
Hold
can
on,
yell
dude.
too. No, you interrupted
you
me.
opening your mouth to me
you've
like
been
that.
yelling at
Don't
me the
fight
whole
me.
time.
You
You've been
white
yelling
folks
the whole
are
time.
reaping what you sow.
White folks.
You're
How many
reaping
times-
what you sow.
White folks
You
are
reaping what you sow.
So what did
Right,
Austin
y'all should be
Metcalf
reaping what
deserve?
we sow. Is what really should be going on.
Yo, there was a video of this guy, Quanell X, being chased out of a fucking white neighborhood. You should play that when this is done. You ever seen that?
Nah.
This guy's all fucking
Deserve
talk.
to get murdered in your book.
When he threatened more than once.
Okay.
When he approached
What did he say?
Let me finish.
What did he say?
When he threatened that,
Well,
if,
how
he
did he
did, that
threaten
if he did not give up his seat, what he was going to do.
What did he say
When
he
he
was going to
threatened
do?
that young
What
man
did he say?
that if you don't move, I'm going to punch you in your face.
Okay.
2, 3, when he decided that he was going to take his hand, punch that innocent kid in the face who didn't threaten him, who was not breaking any laws, who was not violating no school policies or procedures. When he did that, he crossed the line.
He was violating
and it gave Carmelo Anthony the right to defend himself. Carmelo Anthony was not the instigator. He was not the initial aggressor. The instigator, the threatener, and the initial aggressor, Mr. Metcalf, died. He brought that on himself.
Okay. That's a disgusting take, right? But you said he wasn't breaking any rules. Was it a violation of school policy to come to the track meet armed with a deadly weapon?
Yes.
So now,
Yes or no?
Wait a minute.
Yes or no?
It was that
Yes
kind of knife.
or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Yes or no?
It was not that kind of knife.
Well, what kind of knife
See,
was
that's
any
lie
kind of
being
fucking
told.
weapon.
No.
It was not no butcher knife, no kitchen knife. It wasn't no
I've
butter
heard
knife.
every
It wasn't
argument
that
under
kind
the
of
sun
knife.
about
See,
this.
I'm gonna be quiet right
No
now. It's gonna come
knives
out.
are allowed, period.
Those knives that he
Texas
used
is
were
open
the same
carry
ones they
state.
used to help put them tents up.
Not in school
So
grounds.
he was armed with a knife.
Don't apply to knives
Everybody,
anyway.
a lot of kids had those knives putting those tents up. It's a custom knife that they used to put those tents up.
No,
he didn't bring no weapon
like
like
knives
that.
are legal, but the thing is,
carry
it's
a
not on
knife at
school
school.
grounds.
Charles, it was not that type of weapon
Okay. Was it a knife
at
or
all,
not?
Charles. It was something that they used to help erect tents.
Okay. Who told you that?
All of them. Let me say this to you, Charles. I'm not going to get too deep into that.
I get
point,
that.
but
So
it was something
Carmelo
that was
been in
used as
trouble
commonly used
before
for
for
those
carrying a weapon at school?
I don't know anything about
You don't know anything about it. Okay. So we can agree, though, that it is in fact a violation of policy to have a deadly weapon at a track meet. Yes or no?
Charles,
Yes or no? Can we agree
He
to
didn't
that?
bring that type of weapon.
Okay.
He did not.
Did he have a weapon hidden in his
He
backpack?
used a weapon
did he-
to defend himself.
Did he
Charles.
open up his backpack?
He used a
and
weapon to
say,
defend himself.
I dare you to touch me.
No, Charles.
Well, so
he
everyone
had a
was
right
fine?
to do that.
Oh, well,
He
really?
wasn't wrong.
Really?
If you in my face
Okay.
threaten to do bodily harm to me, if you threaten me over and over to do bodily harm to me, and
Well,
then
what
you
were the
punch me
threats?
in my face,
Well, because
he got a right to use
Okay.
whatever force necessary
Okay.
to stop that attack.
So what you're saying is if it turns out that everyone that was there
necessary.
that gave witness statements that have been published, if they weren't lying and he didn't punch him in the face, right? If they didn't threaten him with physicality, he didn't punch him in his face, do you still think that murder was okay?
See, on the mugshot,
Do
there's
you
no
still
bruises
think that
and no
murder
marks
was
or
okay?
anything. 200-pound kid would definitely leave a
right
mark.
there, Caucasian students.
Okay.
And they told me, yes, he was punched in the face.
Who were those students?
I'm not going to name them.
Okay, of course you're not.
But those
because
two
you're
students-
lying to Fox
No,
Soul.
you are a damn liar.
No, I'm
I
not.
talked to those two students.
You are the same
and
person.
They admitted that he punched that boy in the face after
That's funny. I'm pretty sure I heard some
You are the same
Sons on
person
Chaotic
that
Truth who
sent
said they
me
talked
this
to him too.
narrative
Seems like they all have.
along with the false police chief
that was
statement.
put out there before the
Okay,
public. Yes.
right?
We got Bob.
And the thing
We
is,
got-
you are just regurgitating lies that are all designed that you wouldn't. And my
So,
whole problem
Charles,
is
Don't even
not
call you
that
the
you're.
Sun
My whole
word.
problem
If
is
he
not.
punched him in the face.
My whole problem.
So if he threatened him and punched him, was that self-defense?
No, it's still not a text.
So if you,
want me to
so
tell
if
you?
you
Black,
threaten
you got
that
his
kid over
number?
there and punch him in the face, you can't use no force necessary
Oh,
to
yeah,
stop that
actually,
attack.
I forgot about that. Fisherman's in the back, Hawk.
Fisherman in the back. What?
Yeah, go ahead, Freshman.
Fishman probably didn't even know what's going on.
Wait, what are you? Are you having a stroke right now?
Nah, go ahead.
Oh. Well, it's just like most gliders aren't in the right mindset to have these kind of conversations with some people, so they end up looking stupid. You gotta
say something stupid. He's.
I know he's doing okay, but like your average glider walking around the street, like usually loses these exchanges because they're not prepared to literally go for hours and hours and go down
Concede
1,000 different rabbit holes and pop out in 1,000 different conversations that don't have anything to do with anything.
Yeah, it's a fucking multiverse of conversations. This is a multiverse of fucking.
Like if this was in a courtroom, I would say the white dude is winning.
There's a universe in which.
But even the shit he's talking about, like I got them witnesses, I got the witnesses, and I done talk to the family and all that.
Yeah, I don't talk.
Like, okay, you probably talked to a bunch of sons that also lied. What the fucking do?
I mean, they just heard it on fucking X or Twitter. Where, take it as the gospel truth. I thought the story was that he grabbed his backpack. What did the actual police report say? I didn't really listen to that carefully.
I've heard he's punched him. They've jumped him. They body slammed him. They were choking him out. Like, I mean, there was next thing you know, they're gonna they had a noose on his neck and they hitched it to the back of their 4-wheel drive truck with an American flag in the bed, and they were taking off. And
Jimmy,
he
get the cross
fucking
ready.
threw the knife. Who knows?
I thought I heard him yelling, "We're gonna make strange fruit out of this boy," as they drove off in the pickup truck.
Austin's great grandpappy was in the Klan, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they ain't done with them, man. They've treated this. They going hard on this family. They're not done. Like sons are not going to be done until this situation is over with. So if this is how they're acting in the first couple of days, oh my God. And this is a good family. The Metcalfs are a good, nice, God-fearing family. They've done everything you're supposed to do. He hasn't judged
not everything.
Family. No, listen, but as a good person, he hasn't judged the other family. He hasn't expressed anger towards the other family. He's recognized that the assailant is a kid as well. He's been measured in his tone. He's offered to pray for that family. He's instantly forgave them. And niggas are still treating them like dogs.
Yeah, look what it's gotten him. Congrats.
The one problem I do have with him is he came out and said this is not political and this is not racial. Like, you're lying. He's lying.
I mean, if it wasn't before, it is now.
He chastised white people too. Told them not to use it for any racial thing. And blacks would never do that. Blacks would never chastise black people or tell black people to tone it down or don't use it for race. Black people would never do that. They would never say, "Hey, man, tone it down, man. This is stop doing this stuff." Nah, black people ain't never gonna do that. Let's see. Man, let me see what was in the back. Accessory. Let's see.
Yeah, I challenge anybody to find a debate between a son and a non-son where the son concedes any point on anything.
Yeah, no, son.
Find
We're
me that debate.
We're hardliners. When it comes to this, we take a hard line and we stick to it.
Hey, black people,
regarding this Carmelo Anthony situation and the murdering of somebody because they touched your backpack, you're going to have to take the L. You're making the rest of us responsible black people look like absolute trash. There's no wonder why people like Nick Fuentes and every other white person doesn't want to be around you niggas. I don't want to be around you niggas. Respectable individuals with decent credit scores don't want to be around you niggas.
Unlikely.
People that have a family and children and want to walk around their neighborhood don't want to be around you niggas.
Preach.
And all you're doing is exasperating this situation with your stupidity, your racial idolatry. And then I got to go on here and listen to Jason Whitlock not argue Nick Fuentes' points on the basis of the merits of his talking points. He wants to argue in favor of Christianity and call Nick Fuentes not a real Christian and that he's not repping Jesus Christ. Well, I got news for you, Jason. I'm a big fan of yours as well. But correct me if I'm wrong. Don't you get paid by Blaze Network, Mark Levin? Aren't you working for people that are literal antichrist, as it says in 1 John 2:22?
Okay, he's losing me.
Aren't you running ads for Jewish organizations in order for you to get paid and to get your shekels, Mr. Whitlock?
Uh-oh.
You see,
oh, he's calling out the juice
I
crew.
don't like the fact that
Yeah, Whitlock had a bad day. Whitlock had a bad day today, man.
He when taking that tone, talking about Christ, it was kind of like a cop out. It was kind of you could use that argument about everything. You could use that argument about who's better, Jordan or LeBron. Like it has no point. It doesn't matter. What does it say in the Bible? Does it say that Jordan is better than LeBron in the Bible?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It's basically
It says Jordan.
Nick Valentes. Nick listens to Ak and he just says it's DNA, and clearly he's listening. And Whitlock wasn't having it. He just wasn't having the DNA experiment.
Whitlock, and listen,
Here.
Final frontier. Whitlock is going all the way to the line, and he's looking over the edge, and he just don't want to make that leap because when you admit that it's DNA, you have to take everything that comes with that. Like, damn, man. Well, maybe that's why I get 350 points on my SAT. Maybe it's not because of single parents that I get, or single parents or poverty where I get 350 points on the SAT. Maybe it's because they know I need that 350 points to compete with the other kids in the admission process. Maybe you know what I'm saying, the all the schools that are black are shitty. Like maybe that is a reason that is. Maybe all the high achieving black students are ushered and pushed into white schools or private schools, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe you know what I'm saying, there's a reason for these. Maybe there's a reason for that other than social issues, because Whitlock likes this. He thinks that it's social reasons, it's culture, it's this and the third. But this is what I always say about culture: the people make the culture. The people make the culture.
DNA makes the people.
If the DNA argument becomes widely accepted or widely known, what's going to happen is like the Suns are going to lose all their power. It's like you said last night. The reason why, like they want to have power over gliders is using their guilt and all that other like past oppression. But when you realize that no matter what gliders do, there's nothing they could do to make Suns equal.
They oppress themselves.
Yeah, I know. But that's what I'm saying. That whole white oppression myth goes down the toilet.
Right. Especially when you just because too, what it'll make you be honest. It's like a light bulb. Like you say, damn. Once you accept DNA, you start saying, well, damn, Haiti.
And I was about to say that when Nick said that, my mother's a Christian. That like the whole island mainly Catholic and Christian. That right there doesn't matter. It's still fucked up.
Nigeria, there's more Christians in Nigeria than there are in fucking most countries except for in America. Think about it.
Christianity is no longer a glider religion. There's more non-glider Christians than there are glider Christians.
Right, and nothing has helped it. That's another thing you'll start to notice when you accept DNA too. When you're like, damn, nothing has worked. Like nothing.
It's pretty
There's no thing like, well, man, if they would just keep doing this, well, they did this and it worked, and then they stopped. No, nothing ever worked. Nothing has ever worked to make the achievement gap, to close the achievement gap. And it's all right. To me, I've accepted it because I just accept it is what it is. It is. And I get why a lot of blacks wouldn't want to accept it. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially if you're proud and you think you're smart too. That's another thing too. If you think you're smart and you've achieved a lot of things, and you're like, hey man, I've achieved a lot and I'm smart. And no one's saying that I don't think DNA says that every black person is a moron.
And
it just said
black people aren't all 100% black either. I mean, there are other things that mediate that,
Admixture.
right? Exactly.
Yeah. But even with that, right? Even the bell curve. If you look at the curve, there is it's a curve. The distribution, it's a distribution, right? There is this part of the distribution does have blacks with high IQs. It's just not a lot of them. Most of them are grouped in the middle of the IQ chart. You know what I'm saying? Even the bottom end is very low because it's a bell. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit at the very bottom, like where you're talking about retarded, and then there's a little bit at the genius, and the majority of them are in the just ho hum.
Sheep.
Yeah. But yeah, this is I when I heard that, I was listening to that today. I was like, I was hoping Jason would be careful with that, because if you're gonna go with that argument about Jesus and Christ and everything, now like you gotta use it. It's kind of like you box yourself in, because
He does that all the time too.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't do it like that though. Not like he did today. Because other days he does it, and it doesn't seem like a cop out. Today it seemed like a cop out. I don't mind him talking about religion and everything, but today it was just like he didn't want to address what Nick Fuentes was saying, and it seemed like he used the Bible as a cop out.
Yeah, I'm not aware of what Fuentes said.
He basically said, in Ock words, it's DNA. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I don't want to live around blacks. It's basically, we don't have a race problem. We have a problem race. You know what I'm saying? Like it is. And listen, man. You guys be on Twitter, man. Some of the videos you see of the way black people act in public, you don't see other races acting like that in public with the frequency of black people. Let me see this one.
Or get in, it was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude,
this guy,
was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughter was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. they grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and what they went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one, it was both of them, bro.
Definitely an honest narrator here.
Yeah, there been so many lies that I would suggest for white people to never believe. Yeah, never believe anything a black person says when it comes to this type of stuff, man. You know what I mean? You never want to believe anything a black person says when it comes to a racial matter. Because I mean, if you can't tell already by what we've seen so far, you got to always corroborate these things, man. You got to definitely corroborate these things. I don't like, and the black women are 100% for him. And I haven't seen one black woman. I mean, I've seen some conservative YouTubers that are just conservative YouTubers, but I haven't seen one black woman who I've never seen before that isn't supporting Karmelo Anthony.
What about Candace Owens? Has she ever spoken out on this?
I mean, but you know what? I don't know. I haven't seen Candace Owens.
I think she's trying to stay away from it.
Yeah, all black women believe that he should have stabbed him, and which is scary because these are the mothers of black men. Like the fact that they all think that you stab him in the chest, even though you're gonna go to prison. This Jew, who's this Jew? What's this Jew talking about?
Oh, you know what the difference between these two men is? You know what the difference between these two men is? One of them was assaulted before they turned to violence. The other one wasn't even talked to. One of them had to tell their assailant, "Put your hands on me again and find out what happens." The other one had to take his AirPods out, put the Soldier of Fortune magazine he was reading back into his little backpack and walk across a subway car to choke someone out. One of them was defending themselves from violence. The other one was defending strangers against words. This is important, so listen up. I'm not defending what either of these men did. But if you defended one of them, you better fucking
That's not true. That's not how it works. You don't have to defend one. If you defend, these are completely different cases. Nothing about these cases is the same. You fucking
defend the other one.
He's a high IQ Jew, so he knows that. He knows. The thing about it is they know that there's nothing the same about these, but they'll still like put this shit out there for the less.
Yeah, they take they have a lot of pride in their ability to say lies with a straight face and then watch the Gentiles believe it.
Yeah,
that's one of the tenets of their religion.
Yeah, these cases, there's nothing the same. Those two cases have New York and Texas. First, if you just look at the legal code in New York and Texas, you got one constitutional carry state. You got one state where like you get fucking 100 years for fucking getting caught with a gun and shit.
What the hell is that?
Prognatism.
Is that real?
Yeah, prognatism. No, I don't know if that's
I don't think that's real, but clearly
there's probably some people that got that much prognatism, but it's not like
definitely.
It's not like so they're saying, so look, they said if Karmelo Anthony tries to sit in her seat. It said, name a reason the child would need this. I don't know. I'm sure that.
With it.
Look at this. These are the only people that have ever been arrested in America. Look, they're comparing only the only people.
How many gliders murdered last month? Like 50 or 60, or it's usually something like that.
About 50 every month. Yeah, about 50, give or take a bit every month. Yeah. Gliders don't talk about that enough either. That's another thing. I don't know if gliders are y'all like embarrassed by that, because there's got to be some kind of embarrassment, like, damn, they whacking us 90 going north. Because I don't think a lot of us harp on that enough.
Are you embarrassed if a
You know
bear
what I mean?
attacks you and kills you? Like, it's a dangerous fucking animal. It's distressing. It's a problem.
No,
So
but
you're
I'm
leaving
saying
it on
they
the map.
don't talk about it. No, but I'm saying y'all don't bring it up when y'all argue with blacks.
Well, I mean, I do, but I don't know many gliders that do. I'll give you that.
Yeah. So it seemed like you might be ashamed of that, man. And there's nothing wrong with being ashamed of that, because that is kind of it is embarrassing to a degree.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They don't bring up the rape statistics either. It's like 30,000 to 1.
You want to tell me? Don't touch it. 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 Ugly ass cat.
These little white girls getting abused.
Jesus Christ.
If this was on the other hand, if like this would be big. This would be the biggest story. This would push Karmelo Anthony off of the fucking front pages. This would literally have pushed Karmelo Anthony off the front page. A bunch of white kids just coming over, beating the shit and robbing them and taking their stuff, and then beating the shit out of them some more. That would have been the biggest story.
I saw when you had the stats up the other night.
And I had the what?
When you had the stats up the other night, what was it, like black men 12 or 18 to 24, 259%, or 259 out of 100,000 homicides or something, right?
Yeah, will commit murder. Yeah,
like fucking 29 times higher than anybody else.
Telling you, man.
No, we ain't playing. We play real good. We got these right here.
What y'all look? Why y'all out here like that though?
Bitch ass niggas, they play down now. Fuck, they ain't gonna come down here. They ain't gonna do shit on phone now. Fuck Tom down.
Damn, why y'all wilding like this though?
Fuck somebody else.
How old you is behind the mask?
Fuck Tom.
How old you is? How old you is? Damn, that's how y'all go?
Yeah.
Damn, y'all the niggas crazy, bro. Y'all ain't gonna rob me or nothing, y'all. All right,
It'll definitely stop somewhere.
Hey, let me get another dollar so I got safety on.
All right. 2 for you too, man.
No, we ain't playing. We play real good. We got these right here.
What y'all look? Why y'all like?
Little dudes out there with guns and shit. Fuck. All right, let's see this brother.
I really had enough of this whole life, so I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. Fuck every white man, woman, and child alive on this planet. All of you motherfuckers need to die. All of you do. We need to go for a global, recessive genetic purge by any means necessary. Every last one of you white man, woman, and child on this planet need to die. I really had enough of this.
Wow. He put his face on it though. He could work. He could go to work tomorrow, and that's crazy because he could go to work tomorrow and punch in, and his code's still gonna work.
He'll still be breathing the white man's air.
On the internet that he never could conceptualize in 1,000 lifetimes.
Look at the white guy trying to get between the Asian and the blacks arguing. This is what
some white man's bird shit.
What the fuck you standing up for, bitch? We're not gonna do shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here. I ain't gonna shit. I'm not gonna do shit. Where my dad, you lucky? Bro, where my dad, you lucky your 2 kids is here? Because I would have smashed you. I'm not gonna even do that in front of your daughters. Where my dad? You lucky she over here crying. Where my dad? Where my dad? No.
This
is why Daniel's only gonna date on briefings.
Why are they so angry?
Jesus
They're not
Christ.
angry though. They're not angry, dumbass white bitch. They're just chimping. They're just chimping out.
Chimp out.
That's their reaction to stimuli. That's stimuli. They got that Asian woman probably looked at them funny.
They go through these highs and lows of emotion are like a daily thing. Something around breakfast time, and then you have a 2-hour downtime, and then there's something at lunch, and then 30 minutes break, and then go outside, something to get hyped about. It's just a nonstop ruckus.
Well, I don't even think it's that. I think it's just that Asian woman may have looked at them, sneered at them. Like, for instance, remember we talk about this all the time. The interaction doesn't start when the son does something to you, right? So say those sons were being loud and obnoxious and shit, right? And the Asian woman, cut her eyes at them. They're not gonna consider that. It's to them. It's just that they're on the bus chilling, and some Asian woman cut their eyes at them for no reason. Or if they were like in her personal space, like swinging on the fucking strap hangers or whatever, and bumped the Asian woman, and she said, "Oh, these children," or something like that, and you're like, "What children? I ain't no motherfucking child, bitch." So it's like they never consider what they did to you. You have to always remember that. So if you think about it, think about if they do something to you, right? That's egregious, right? And you respond like something was done to you egregious. In their mind, you just jumped out on them with some, you know what I mean? So you disrespected them.
Yeah, and this is what like a huge amount of gliders just don't get, right? They look at it and they're like, "How can you advocate for this? You didn't, they don't understand where the encounter starts for them."
Yeah, it starts when you respond, and that's and everything they've done is just like it doesn't exist.
Can you talk to them? You guys are more welcome to. But stay right here.
We're gonna go ahead and just refuse service. There's no reason. That's what we're gonna go ahead and do today. I'll go ahead and I'll take that. If you guys could go ahead and please leave the store, we'd really appreciate it.
Wait, so why do you have to leave the store?
Because we're just refusing service. We don't have to have a reason.
I think you should have a reason for kicking us out of the store. We're just shopping here. What is your reason?
To be quite completely honest with you, I don't have to have a reason. I'm just letting you guys know.
So are you gonna kick
Just leave the store.
We have the right to refuse service to anybody, so I'm having the right to refuse service to you guys. I don't have to have a reason. So that is my reason. So I'm just asking you guys to please leave the store today.
It's ridiculous. It's really happening.
I mean, that is kind of like that is not good optics, though. Like,
I get it, but if I'm not wanted at the store, just get the fuck out. It's just the way I feel.
Like they may have, she could have said, "Well, loss prevention, saw you on camera, putting stuff into your bags or something like that." Like just saying that leaves them open for a lawsuit, though.
Yeah,
it leaves them open to changing the store policy. Because here's the thing: H&M might have to change the whole store policy off of this.
Because of her,
yeah, just off this one thing.
So you've seen us steal before? Is that what you're saying?
Nobody said that at all.
That's what he said.
Well, that right there, she's guilty.
We've seen you in here before. I didn't.
I have not been here.
So
I haven't been here. I don't even know the last time.
To be honest with you guys, we've seen you in here plenty of times before.
Us too.
Yeah, we've seen people.
Do you have like a picture? Because it's not us.
I don't need to show you guys. I'm refusing service to you guys today. I've asked you guys to please leave the store. I don't need you guys to get violent or anything like that.
Violent?
You guys are. Let's go.
Oh shit.
There's no way that would happen.
Yeah, that never happened.
They should do the McDonald's deal where they just card everybody.
This is I can't.
This
They
is
card
why I'm trying to get Daniel to only date I'm breathing.
Yeah, dilute that shit a little bit, respectfully.
He has to.
Jeez.
They would probably walk out with the clothes on them. Like, oh, I forgot. It was just a mistake.
Yeah, they're fucking pissed about that. This might. We'll see if this one turns up. That becomes a big deal. Let's see if that one becomes a big deal because they're Jesus Christ.
What?
Through the fry basket.
I can't even show that one. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Fuck.
Keisha, get the hot grease.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit.
Bro, I just want my phone. Fuck this bitch. Fuck, bring the knife and shit. Fuck.
Oh, so the girl brought a knife, so she's gonna go out there and confront her.
Yo, this is crazy.
She's on the clock too. See right here, this guy, cameraman. This how you get shot with a straight bullet. He's way too close to this action. She's out there. Look at her.
That's a girl in a shiesty?
Yeah, look like it.
Oh man, it's not gonna be pretty.
Definitely more than 3 situation.
To be honest, this nigga fine. Fuck. What the fuck?
Slip.
Nigga trying to fake drag.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Caution.
No. Let's see. Let's see. No.
No solutions.
I'm ready to rumble for that shit. Jesus Christ. Jeez. Look at this chick. She's still in her custom stuff. Still in the customer credit card information. Damn. She went live putting that shit in, sending that shit to her friend. Damn. Employee caught
Shout
sharing
out.
customer's credit card information.
Shout out to the gliders for making social media.
Telling you, man. Shit.
Make it easy for y'all.
It was the juice crew.
Jeez.
I don't know. Jack Dorsey Jack Dorsey ain't juice group.
Salute to Far From Handsome. He says, remember when
Zuckerberg
did a protest? A man stuck up a restaurant and a customer murked him in Houston. Yeah, we did that story. Yeah,
The kids who shot him after when he followed him.
No, the guy who went to the Spanish tortilla place and shit, robbed everybody. And he was walking out, and the customer came up and shot him in the back. And they stood over him and shot him like 30 more times. It was bad. The customer didn't get charged with anything though. Customer finished his ass too. And they were like, yeah, he and his mother got on the camera and they were like trying to advocate for the fucking guy. Oh man. Let me see.
I was following that when the spot in Hillside when they spray painted nigger. Man, they're the only black family in that whole section, so I know that section really well, and they're going hard at it. It just every time I hear it, it's a very sloppy job. The spray cans and it's very sloppy. I don't know. They still working on. I'll follow up on it though. I'll let you see. It's very sloppy though.
All right. Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat, man. Support the channel. Lock the doors, y'all, man. Lock the doors, Deacons, man. Shout out to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again. Shout out to Barry B, coming through once again. Shout out to you guys, man. Deacons, lock the doors, man. Draw the shades, man. Let's see. Oh yeah. Hey. This fucking thing. Yeah. Action Network.
Give me a thumbs up when it's.
This is the chief op.
No, this is the Next Generation Action Network. This is
Nick
like
Ann.
it's his shit. Nick Ann.
What?
Hey, I'm just reading what they wrote there.
Again?
Nick Ann.
Wow.
This is
President of the Niggans, presumably here.
Alrighty, we're good. Alrighty, so real quick, I want to start off by saying real quick that my comments are represented today by the Next Generation Action Network that have been working with
nervous
Anthony
as shit, right?
From the advocacy standpoint. I'm not the Anthony family attorney. Of course, you know the Next Generation Action Network is no stranger to this line of work. And we have been representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation.
all families equally. So if a white family is in the bind, you gonna go represent them?
The Next Generation Action Network, since the last past week, have gotten thousands of calls regarding this situation and making sure that
Who believes that? Who believes that thousands of people called Nick Ann? Hey, Nick Ann, this shit is going on in Texas. Who believes that?
No, I
Maybe
don't.
Who believes
one
10
sister,
people?
one
Yeah.
sister 1,000 times.
What
Maybe
the fuck
they
do
got
these
some
guys have?
tweets.
organization was involved.
I don't know, man. Nick Ann.
What the fuck do these guys have anything to do with this? Like, who the
Right.
fuck are these guys?
And
Nobody's heard of
This is their big break.
Growing
You look, yeah,
tension,
exactly. You
racism
look
and
at.
bigotry involving with the case.
Listen to what he just said.
We have been representing families for the last 10 years from an advocacy standpoint to get to the bottom of this situation. The Next Generation Action Network, since the last past week, have gotten thousands of calls.
That made no
regarding
sense.
the situation
No.
and making sure that our organization was involved in this situation because of the growing tension of racism and bigotry
And money.
involving with the case. I want to start off by saying that I appreciate the deputy chief, John Stretch, from being able to come here to meet with us, as well as the assistant police chief.
Why would the deputy come meet with this band of fucking racist Negroes, man? That have nothing to do with the case.
To placate them.
Maybe if they had named it Next Generation Action Syndicate, maybe then they would meet with them.
God damn, man. This is crazy, man.
I don't think they actually met with them. I think he's just lying. What do you think, Ak?
That's
I
a good
mean,
call.
if he's at this press conference, I hope not. I hope he's lying,
If we can base it off all the other some people's statements about this so far, it's probably a lie.
Yeah.
Aaron Stevens.
Definitely.
These are two individuals who are currently over the investigation that is currently going on in Frisco ISD. Of course, let's start off in the proper way. I'm Minister Dominique Alexander. I serve as president and founder of the Next Generation Action Network, the largest human and civil rights organization in North Texas. Today, we had a meeting with the leadership of the Frisco Police Department to discuss the matter of urgency in escalating racial threats and bigotry and online hate directed at the Anthony family.
Also, this is the new thing. Oh, the Anthony family being threatened. Wow. They
Maybe if they weren't raking in the dough.
They are going hardball. They're gonna turn themselves into the victims. So now white people are like out burning crosses in the Anthony family's front yard.
Let me be clear. The Anthony family cannot leave their home because of the growing threats towards their safety.
Wow.
Their personal address has been exposed. They have received graphic and racist threats. They are being targeted with violence and simply because their child is in the center of this tragedy. We are here just for justice. This justice must be fair and impartial and protected from biases. We cannot allow racism and bigotry to divide us. We cannot allow white America to decide when and how Black people can speak up against oppression. We do not pull the race card, we live it.
We do not pull the race card, we live it.
You basically snitching on yourself, bro.
I mean, yeah, goddamn, you're right.
Yes, this case is a tragedy. Anytime a child is lost, we mourn as a community. Our heart goes out to the family of Austin Metcalf. But we do not race the right of the Anthony family to be protected and heard and treated with dignity. That's why today we spoke with the Frisco Police Department leadership to demand answers. We need to know what steps are being taken to protect the Anthony family, the strategies of the threats that's being spreaded, and how Frisco police
strategies of the threats that's being spreaded. What the fuck does that mean? The strategies of the threats that's being spreaded.
Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing about this. If there really were threats, they would have posted evidence of that shit on social media, but they haven't.
Well, they probably make fake accounts and send threats to themselves,
exactly,
and then post that.
Ding, 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 ding,
but they haven't even done that.
I mean, that's what's gonna happen though. They love this shit. There's nothing that makes some people happier than these types of events. This is bigger than Christmas, 4th of July, any motherfuck Kwanzaa, Juneteenth. This is literally the Sun Super Bowl.
Yep.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, but watch, like, how many times did they cry wolf? Like, you know, just recently they found out that Allentown shit was a hoax. Jussie Smollett, all that other shit. So
all of them are.
But they're still gonna milk that shit. They're still gonna try.
Shout out to Jeffrey in the building, man. Jeffrey coming through. Take the $7 challenge. Take the $10 challenge. Take the $5 challenge. Support the channel, guys. Bringing you this content, man. Look at this guy, man. He's so unprofessional. He has such a poor grasp of the English language.
Ensuring that Karmelo Anthony's Sixth Amendment right, a fair and public trial, is fully respected. Let's make it clear that absolutely
fair and speedy trial.
We have full permission and trust of the Anthony family and authorized for the Next Generation Action Network to speak today. Today in this meeting, we talked about and was able to give them graphic images of what this family has had to deal with for the last couple of days. It is sad. These graphic images
What does that even mean?
Display children with knives, Black children with knives stuck in their head. The Anthony family's address. We saw when this case first started that people were putting online that when Section 8 was accepted into the Frisco neighborhood. That became the lead of the downfall of Frisco.
Well,
I mean,
well,
How
yeah, sounds outlandish.
how dare they imply such a thing?
They've got to. Surely they can find a different spokesperson because this guy's just
brother.
shitting his pants over and over again.
He's the best they got. The best Nagayan has to offer.
Yeah, leave it to the niggas.
This is so
man.
funny. Their name is Nigan. I can't get over that.
This guy right here, man. Yo, he is so like the way he talks is like kind of like how somebody would make a character of this. Like if this was a Living Color skit or Saturday Night Live skit, I can see Keenan. What's the guy on the Saturday Night Live?
Keenan Thompson.
Yeah, this is how it would be if this was a Saturday Night Live skit. This guy is insane with it, man. Like, what the fuck?
We have saw so many different
hateful. We have saw
images, just hateful things. And the Next Generation Action Network wants to reiterate that Karmelo Anthony has a right to a fair trial, unbiased, and removed of racial hate and bigotry. I want to.
And for that reason, we're suggesting that all the jurors be African American at the Negan Network. We will supply the jurors for the trial.
We will
for real.
They would only need like half.
Yeah,
only need one.
And I say this from my heart and my own personal reference. If someone wants to say race is not in this situation and shouldn't be, well, I asked all of those people to join me in calling it out.
There's no race in this the way there was no
don't look
race in
at-
the OJ trial. You know?
Yeah, let's call out the race. Hey, nigga, stop being racist.
Leave it to the niggas to call it race.
And say, don't always play the race card. We don't play the race card. We live it.
We live, yes.
We live a reality. We also feel that the bond that Karmelo Anthony is on is too high.
Jesus.
We do.
The rent's too high. The bond's
Because
too
guess
high.
what? We here when Aaron
Fresh
Dean
chicken's too high.
was arrested.
Listen to what he says. Listen to his logic. Listen to his logic.
Because guess what? We've been here when Aaron Dean was arrested. We was here when Amber Geiger was arrested.
Yes, we was.
$200,000.
So he cited two. So in Texas, there's only been 2 people given bond. 3 people been given bond in the history of Texas. Karmelo
Presumably, there's
Anthony.
been no other black people involved in any crime since those 2.
I mean, that logic though, it works too, because some people will be like, "Damn, man, yeah, man, this one random person got $200,000 bond, and they gave Karmelo Anthony $1 million, man." Like, what? Like, oh my god! Man.
But those situations are different, you know. Like he doesn't go into detail.
Yeah,
but good luck getting any of them to even like begin to appreciate or acknowledge that. It's just like Fisherman said earlier, just jumping from one topic to another.
Yeah, it's like word salad. Like, you know, I mean, these people are schizophrenic. There's
Stream of
organized
consciousness.
thinking, there's organized speech, all that. Paranoid delusions.
The system, it has a problem in it. Now, what I want to be able to do is ensure, and what we was able to here today from the Frisco Police Department is reassuring that the Frisco Police Department is doing everything that it can to address the racism and the bigotry. We have saw the police chief, a statement being sent out by the police chief that was false. We have saw a false autopsy report that was false. We have to caution the community to say, hey, we cannot trust everything that is online. The disinformation that is going online is hurting this case, and it has to stop. It has to stop, y'all.
Can we do something
As
about this
we know it
information?
right now, Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other.
We knew that.
They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party.
That's y'all saying that.
That makes the murder even more senseless. That makes it even more savage. That there's not
These
some
people don't even know what they don't even know what they're saying. Like, seriously.
But he's trying to act like white people started that rumor. That rumor was started by black people to, further justify why he stabbed him, because they said that the Austin brothers have been bullying him for a period of time, and that's why he reacted like that. But he's saying he's trying to dispel that as if white people were saying that. It was actually black people saying that. I knew they didn't know each other. You could tell by the just from the police report they didn't know each other. He didn't come up and say, "Hey, Karmelo, man, get out of here, Karmelo." And Karmelo didn't say, "Man, Austin, man, leave me the fuck alone before I stab your ass." You know what I'm saying? You could tell they didn't know each other just from the discourse.
Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony did not know each other. They did not know each other. Let's stop it. They were not at a party together. Let's stop the lies regarding this situation. We also know that both Austin Metcalf, the twin brothers, were on the roster that day to be at that track meet. We also know that Carmelo Anthony was on the roster that day to be at that track meet.
No, he wasn't.
We know they both arrived, all of them arrived to this facility via the transportation of Frisco ISD. The lies has to stop.
Hold up, Buck.
As far as the legal strategy.
Yo, if he was on the list to participate in the track event, then why wasn't he with his team? They don't think about anything.
They might have metal detectors over there.
Place. I'm not the lawyer. I think you guys have all had a statement in regards that the lawyers have asked for a bond reduction, and they will release that in the way. We are solely here because where racism and bigotry and hate arises, the Next Generation Action Network will be there and will respond to that hate. We will not allow our communities to go under attack.
And we'll make some money.
We know that when people see a white and a black man in an unfortunate situation happen, that race always become a factor in that situation. And it's really because people don't want to really have a conversation about racial reconciliation in this country. And the current climate that we live in, where racism and bigotry is at the forefront, we don't really want to have these conversations. And social media has been a stomping ground for people to be able to launch any disparity that they want to.
Disparity.
And so, our heart goes out to all who are involved. The Next Generation Action Network continues to restate that we are here to support this situation based on what we have seen. We want to continue to express Mr. Karmelo Anthony's grounds of where he has displayed self-defense. I think that in the next coming days, as you see the things going out in the courtroom, it will be displayed. But today's meeting was solely about the threats that have been going towards their home and ensuring that there is a fair and impartial investigation going on. And I want the public to know that our organization, along with attorneys, are doing everything they can to make sure that race is not a factor in this case, ensuring and supporting like we've always done. And so I really appreciate the police chief coming to meet with us today to answer all of those questions that we have had. And so at this time, I'll just open it up for questions.
Dominique, what exactly did you ask police to do, and what exactly did they tell you they would do, and is it enough?
Okay, break that down. Just give me that again.
What exactly did you ask Frisco Police in your meeting today to do about these allegations of racism leveled against this family? What did you ask police to do about it? What did they say they were going to do about it, and is it enough?
What I've asked them to do is put an additional presence out there with this family around their home. They have ensured that they have had levels of communication, but for the family, it has been hard for them to know and trust everything because of all of the disinformation. And it made it hard for a lot of people to even trust law enforcement in this situation because of what was going on. It was one moment that we thought that the police chief made a statement regarding the case. Then we find out that's a lie, right? The family saw an autopsy report. You know what I mean? Now, at the end of the day, because of my experience and growing up in the funeral home industry, I know that it's impossible to have an autopsy report, you know what I mean, something like that to be released in the matter of 2 days, right? So we was able to dispel that really quick, right? You know what I mean? And we knew that that was never going to be the avenue that the Collin County Medical Examiner would release that information, right? And so it made it very hard. So what we've asked them to do is increase their presence. We've asked them for a direct contact for the family to be able to send them the information that is when they're getting it, you know, that they have a point of contact to be able to.
This is so stupid.
You know, their home address has been shared, you know what I mean? The hate, you know, there's a lot of stuff that people are saying in regarding their son that are false. You know what I mean? You would think, based on what is online, you would think that Karmelo Anthony is a person who is like, you know what I mean, a hooligan or somebody that doesn't have a home or structure or foundation or all of these different types of things. There's been a whole bunch of lies, like Karmelo Anthony was put out of his home days before. Just stupidity. They are all false and lies. And so, you know what I mean? It's just some of those things that the family knows and things that were expressed. Like, the family know they got to the bus to do that because Karmelo Anthony's car was at his school. You know what I mean? So it's these type of lies that is being expressed on social media that's making it hard for a lot of the family to even trust. So that's the reason why we had this meeting, to be able to ask, you know, answer any questions.
And just real quick.
You awake?
So what did police say that they were actually going to do? Are they going to increase
Yes.
protection?
Yes. They accepted that. They did. And
You said in the initial letter to the city that you raised serious questions about their thoroughness and fairness of the investigation, saying that you guys have spoken to coaches and other people that witnessed it and that they didn't follow up with them. Were you able to have that conversation with the assistant chief and resolve that?
I was able to have that question, and we were able to give those individual names up because the Next Generation Action Network do not want to interfere in the investigation. We're not going to release who they are, but we were able to have that conversation today. You know what I mean? That's what prompted them to even be able to come in. And also, we not only talked about people who were speaking out like that had information regarding the case, we also reported people in official capacities, like people who are teachers, government officials that have used their own personal social media to placate in the hate and the false narratives that are coming out against Karmelo Anthony. And we were able to report that information to them regarding it.
Do you stand by that though, that did they acknowledge that some witnesses have not been contacted by police, or were you
To be exact, Frisco Police Department was able to tell me that they have interviewed over 75 people, and it's ongoing. But they did acknowledge that there are people.
It's over.
Think about this guy. This guy's he just shows up, hey, I'm with the National Generation, whatever the fuck. And the police department has to treat him like he's like a national agency. Like he's the fucking, like he pulled out a badge and said, I'm for the FBI or some shit. Like, shit is crazy, man.
Notice how he was talking about misinformation, and he didn't ask to find the people who made the misinformation, because we're talking about like false police reports. That's a crime. You can't. I don't think you could do that. But no, he doesn't want them to be found because he knows who they are.
Jimmy Fields is in the back.
Oh. Let me read these super chats. Shout out to Jim Sefton, man. From Cross Upon. He said, get the OJ team together. What's left of them?
It's mind blowing that this guy thinks saying they had no history together. This is like a positive thing for that young Mr. Karmelo's. I mean, what that says is within meeting this guy, within 30 seconds he was dead. That's how treacherous this attacker is. It doesn't help his client to say there was no history, there was no backstory to any of this.
Not really a client. I mean, this guy's not legitimately representing him. He's just
but I mean, someone who's going to be on his team or on his behalf or just speaking publicly in his favor.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's saying. Like, he's just saying shit just because he thinks it sounds. He just likes to hear himself talk. That's how all sons are.
Do you think this case is as huge as it seems? Is it, I don't hear people, I was mentioning the back chat, I don't hear people on the street talking too much about it. Just like,
yeah, they're trying. They're really fighting, but it's not.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a big one but here's the thing. Now, social media. Yeah, if it's big on social media, it's big on social media, man. It's big because here's the thing. If OJ trial was happened now, it would be mostly on social media. It had to be in the public discourse. Plus, OJ was years long. It was what 94 when it happened, and it was 94 when it. So it's like this has only been a week and a half.
Yeah, I believe this has the potential to go a lot deeper than some of the more recent ones. The lady throwing the boiling water, that one. This seems like it might have more legs, just because of the craziness of people coming out and making the attacker the victim. That's touching something hot right now.
Yeah, exactly. They don't know the damage they're doing.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, do you think more white victims of black crime are going to be made public like this, or do you think now they're going to keep it on the hush?
White people ain't smart enough. White people ain't smart enough to do that. That's white people should have been flooding the internet with that, and I'm not seeing it. White people are just like they always do. They like being sarcastic, and making like jokes about it. White people are not like taking this. They're not taking the tact that's necessary. They should be flooding the internet with stories of white people. I've done a couple. I did here on this channel, but white people don't they don't really take these things seriously.
That's the freedom that they don't have in England right now to do that. Just start talking about it.
But do you think it's going to change? Do you think people are going to be more vocal about it?
I mean, if not now, when? I mean, like, this is like they raised $300,000 for this kid because he killed a white kid. No one would give two shits if he had stabbed another black kid. This story would have been like a 30-second blurb on the local news, and no one would have gave a fuck about it. The only reason people are sending him money is because he killed a white kid.
That's right. Well, details are
Nothing
limited
to
at
see
this
here.
time, but Chicago police say this unfolded Saturday night just after 8:30 p.m. People that work in this neighborhood tell us that the victim was
that her fire
injured
alarm?
inside the restaurant she works in. Chicago police say they were called
Car
to the
alarm.
2100 block of West Cermak and Pilsen for a report of a
Them ceiling
23-year-old
birds.
woman battered by two unknown female offenders. Police say the victim was transported to Mount Sinai Hospital, where she's listed in good condition. They say she was treated for minor injuries. People that work in this neighborhood that we spoke with say that the victim works inside the restaurant El Taco Azteca. They say the suspects were customers eating inside. They can't understand what would provoke such a reaction.
Hopefully we catch those, offenders, and they get justice for this young girl. Yeah, because that's unfortunate for her. She's just trying to do her job.
Who do you think attacked her? Who do you think attacked this girl?
Burrito.
And that's part of the reason there's that change that we've all seen. There was a time when there would just be a description of the assailant, at least that, or a name or something that you would you'd kind of put it together who was doing this stuff. That doesn't happen anymore. So everyone kind of plays with this fake hand of cards where they pretend they don't know what's happening. It's pretty crazy that it's not more of an outrage, this story.
Yeah, I mean, just fucking attack this waitress.
This business is still open tonight. The owner's telling me they won't allow a few bad apples to disrupt their service to this community. We're talking 10 years. This Mexican
bad apples. What happens to an apple when it when you leave it out? When you cut an apple in half and you let it go bad, what color does it turn?
Turns brown.
So I think we get a first little clue, man.
Disrupt their service to this community. We're talking 10 years this Mexican restaurant has been here. They say they've never had, seen, or even imagined this type of violence taking place. A warning to our viewers.
That's another context who they've never had or imagined. So this is something that these people they don't do this. This community doesn't do this. So it has to be in another community, right? Because you gotta. We used to be real good at that, like fishing through the breadcrumbs.
Business is still open tonight. The owner's telling me they won't allow a few bad apples to disrupt their service to this community. We're talking 10 years this Mexican restaurant has been here. They say they've never had, seen, or even imagined this type of violence taking place. A warning to our viewers. The video you're about to see is a bit graphic. Savage and brazen. A Pilsen waitress repeatedly punched and...
Shaniqua. Damn. I'm good, man. Shaniqua. And look at the way they're beating her. Like they're mauling her. And there's no other customers in here to help her. Look how they're
Savage and brazen. A Pilsen waitress repeatedly punched and stumped, allegedly by customers displeased with their food.
Up to like 5 minutes.
Wow. Every time.
Animals.
Like it's always still. And by their logic, Now listen, by a black women logic, that waiter should have been able to stab both of those women in the heart. Press 1. From what we seen online, all the black women say Carmelo Anthony was in the right.
Facts, Jack.
Every black woman has said that. That waitress should have been able to stab both of those women in the heart.
Punched and stumped, allegedly by customers displeased with their food.
After like 5 minutes, they leave, they come back.
The restaurant owner says 2 women came in ordering tacos and margaritas to go. They eventually returned demanding a refund, allegedly with more than half of the food eaten and the drinks.
This is so normalized now, you know.
It's like you can't make this shit up anymore.
You want a refund? You want a refund after we ate all the food and drank all the drinks? You want a refund?
Barack, you think this is more common now than it was when you were young?
I mean, we do the fucking
or is it really that there's so many cameras on it now?
Listen, I show you guys all the documentaries from back in the day, man. It's always been like this. It's always been like this.
That's why there's nothing new under the sun.
The difference is, like you said, social media, you get to see it happening in every city, but you saw what was going on in your city. Like, and then there's more media. I mean, but still, I show you the documentaries, man. I show you the documentaries.
Oh, we've seen them.
It's always been like this. Why would it be different if it's DNA? Think about it. If it's DNA, why would it be any different anytime? 100 years ago, 500 years ago, 1,000
No,
years ago.
I just thought that maybe the degradation or what appears to be the lowering of the state of the culture is just like anything else. Everything else seems to be declining. So have they been declining all along, or have they really been this bad all along? Because it's taken gliders a while to get to this point in their cultural crossroads with unemployment and drug problems and everything else affecting the culture. Has it always been this way? And apparently it has.
Burner counts in the back.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat. Hit the like button. I think that like we've been very clear that these people have always been like this, man. I mean, always.
To your DNA theory.
Punishments were different, though.
Yeah, they were held accountable more often back then.
But apparently it didn't matter.
I don't know about that because glider DNA.
You can only assume.
Glider DNA. I don't think so. Glider DNA. Glider DNA has always been is prevalent too.
Ordering tacos and margaritas to go. They eventually returned demanding a refund, allegedly with more than half of the food eaten and the drinks nowhere to be found.
When the ladies come back, almost her food is done.
Here you can see the waitress on the phone apparently calling her manager. At the same time, unhappy patrons now pulling down decorations. When the server intervened.
Wow, they started destroying the store before they attacked her. So she called the manager, which is she's just a waitress. You come back, I want a refund for the food that's in my stomach and the drink that's in my stomach. And they start destroying the store.
unhappy patrons now
They should
pulling
have
down
a
decorations.
silent
When
alarm.
the server intervenes, the second woman throws a punch, and from there, for nearly 2 minutes, the 23-year-old victim on the ground taking one blow after another.
This is unacceptable. It must be condemned strongly, and also there has to be accountability.
It happened Saturday inside El Taco Azteca along West Cermak Road. 25th Ward Alderman Byron Cincho Lopez saying minority business owners already have it tough enough.
Our community is known for
minority business owners already have a tough.
Oh yeah. Because they're stuck in the Sun neighborhoods.
A good host. We have a vibrant neighborhood with great restaurants, great people that work there.
With the vicious attack still happening,
Definitely
owner
looks like.
Martha Garcia eventually entered and was able to stop the fight. Police say the attackers quickly took off as the waitress was transported to the hospital. Owners now demanding the customers be brought to justice. Are you afraid that they could do this at another restaurant?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Well, that's not the point, brother. The fact that they did this at that restaurant, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck if they never do this again in the history? If they live to be 150 and they never do it again, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Shout out to Eric S, man. Nation Hall of Favorite coming through once again. That's such a weird thing to say. Are you afraid they're gonna do it at another restaurant? Who gives a shit? They just did it here.
It's just such open acknowledgement that they're not going to pay for what they've just done here. The only thing you can hope is they might prevent one.
You're afraid to leave your home. You're afraid to go to work. You're afraid to go to church. You're afraid to go to school.
Here we go.
You're afraid to look at somebody.
Another documentary.
Occasionally they tell you, I don't like the way you look at me. And that's terrible.
Now, somewhere down the line, the time was lost and the values were spent. You know, it's not the same as it was. And what happens is this. Instead of teaching kids how to cope with life itself, they've taught kids how to be assassins. They taught them how to be hardcore killers. So what happens?
It's 1981, okay? So in the 90s, these people were saying, back in my day, we used to fight. And
yeah, they always say that shit. It's fucking pure lies, man.
All lies.
Honestly. It's like...
Is that a juvenile, or we could even...
1981.
Say in most cases, warriors are sent out into the streets, and the only teaching that they get comes from the streets. Now, when that happens, what do you get? If you got a guy that's third generation whose morals and values are twisted, then you're going to raise a fool. You're going to raise a killer. You're going to raise someone who has no values on life whatsoever. And that seems to be the case repeatedly, over and over. That's why the crime rate of juveniles has risen so high.
My name is Tommy. I'm in here for attempted murder. I'm 15 years old, living in LA.
My name is Ricardo, and I'm in here for second-degree murder, and I'm 15.
My name is Walter, and I'm in here for armed robbery and personal use of a firearm, and I'm 15 years old.
There are almost 200 million guns in this country, and they are so easy to get that kids, the one segment of the population that is gun-controlled, are now using guns at will. September 1980, Los Angeles, 2 in the afternoon at the Arco Mini Market. What you are about to see is a murder. It was filmed by the security camera in plain view behind the cashier. It began with a chance encounter with this woman, who was to later testify at the trial that she recognized the murderers from high school.
5 minutes after. Give me all your money in the bank. Okay. I know. Shoot.
This record of the indiscriminate murder of the cashier, even as he handed over the money, is brutal evidence of a trend. Crimes with guns are increasing, Random violence is increasing, and the criminals are getting younger. Tonight, a profile of the most violent and disturbing generation that this country has ever spawned.
Boy, does that
Their
sound
toys
familiar.
are guns. Their playground is urban
Actually,
America.
it's not spoken of.
LA, big city of dreams, but everything
right.
in LA ain't all LA, big city of fucking with the sick Arab.
We talk of fantasy.
Outside the school, police were acting fast. 2 hours after the shooting, they arrested the suspects, all of them 17 years old.
And people watched
It was
this
one
and
of
took the blame for
203
all of
gun
it.
incidents in the LA
They hadn't
Unified
done enough
School
to stop
District
this.
within a year.
By the day Michael Carr was buried,
If only we could have spent more money in the community.
Shot and killed, and Michael Carr's body was desecrated by vandals who poured blood on it as it lay in the funeral home.
This poor guy got stabbed by a
Now,
pencil.
somewhere down the line, the time was lost, and the obtained a gun. From the last 5 years, burglaries have went sky high. You know, so burglaries are basically
Again, he looks like a sketch.
obtain a gun for juveniles.
It's not really that unusual. Because it don't make no age. I mean, it's not the age that counts about shooting. Just guess how much heart you got. I don't know. If somebody mess with your homie and the only person you got is an little 8-year-old boy, if he down with you and you tell him, you know, he know where the gun at and he down, he go get it, you know, he might back you up. And then on the other hand, he might not be. He might be scared. The youngest one I seen was about 10. And they packed. I even seen him shoot a couple of people. Yeah.
Who are the they? Is it him? Was it me?
It don't have to be him. But then why are they? Who are you talking about? You know what is the point?
Because all of us be in the same people. All of us be in the same situation. All of us be in the same block. All of us all about the same thing. And each and any one of us out here can do the same thing. That's true. If I came up at you and threatened your life, you mean to tell me that you wouldn't kill me first? Yeah. Ain't no bet around here. This is the jungle. The Jungle Queen said the strong must feed on any paired hand. I was branded a beast and I sat at the feast before I was a man.
You did it 10 years ago without a gun? You need a gun today?
No, I ain't got
Let me tell you why it wasn't that bad. Seriously? Because it's going to be a war one day. It's going to be a serious war. And everybody figure if I got my gun, I ain't going to go out by myself. Even when people go to their cars, they say, well, if this person going to rob me, you know, I'm going to get him before he get me. That's why people carry their gun for self-defense.
Well, that's different than a war.
No, but that's just like saying a war
different
going to come. No, I guarantee you.
Teenagers, all of them are teenagers. Think the same thing can happen, you know. You never know when you're going to die. I don't have anything.
Yeah, man, like same issues, man.
Yeah, that's
Same.
1,000% DNA. 1,000%.
And it seemed like it was out of control then. It doesn't seem like it was bubbling up and it was gonna, eventually get worse. It seemed like it was a critical mass at that point, didn't it?
Yeah,
About
they're always like touting this like acceleration bullshit myth.
Yeah. It's shit.
What about the George Floyd effect?
That's a spike though. That was a spike. That was because they took the reins off of the criminal justice system. Had they done that in 1981, you would have seen the same spike. Had they not prosecuted people and let criminals out on bond, repeat offenders, and backed up the courts because of COVID, where the cases aren't being adjudicated for 2-3 years, and you got people out on bond, people keep getting out on bond, you would have had the same spike. Anytime in history, if you would have done what they did, the police get the blue flu, but they don't police because they're scared of getting in trouble. while simultaneously not prosecuting or simultaneously letting every repeat offender out with cashless bail, while simultaneously having the courts backed up because of COVID and the cases not being adjudicated, you would have the same spike.
Yeah, if you rip the Band-Aid off, the Band-Aid is not what is making the blood come out. It's just the Band-Aid. So, yeah, it's like blaming Democrats for crime. Oh, Democrats are the real racists, blah, 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 took the black man out of the home. It's like, no. If you have the Juice Crew and the Gliders do what you just said, then yeah, you'll get a spike.
Mm-hmm.
Newshawn Williams boasted of as many as 75 sexual partners that he may have knowingly exposed to the AIDS virus. When news of Williams hit the streets, a Brooklyn teenager panicked, fearing she may be one of his victims. Her uncle spoke in her behalf.
She's terrified. She don't know if she has it or not. Now, actually, she.
I mean, there's no period where we could go back to where you're not going to see you're not going to see look at this 1969.
Gangsters and things,
and kill people.
Right. I figure if we had some better leadership, like we have people that wants to be like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and these people getting over, like they are doing a nice thing for the ghettos. And then we have those that wants to be like Al Capone.
Captain Buckney, why are they so violent? Why do they kill each other?
Well, I think, first of all, that you have to look at it in terms of, with many of them, it's a way of life. Some of the fellows would tell you that as far as the
nice
gang
choice of
problem is
words.
concerned, that another gangbanger is, he's there to be shot or killed. It's almost like a hunter hunting a rabbit. If you see him, you shoot him. And when they shoot or kill one another, they don't think anything more. It's all part of the game.
I mean, he did kind of answer it, though. He did the best way, Shout out to Herman, man. Salute to Herman,
He
man.
seems to have a little depth to his understanding.
Yeah.
They like it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complicated, man. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah. They don't value human life.
And I think that's one of the tragic parts of it.
The only reason there's fighting now, that Northside been pretty calm, till recently. And so these dudes that I know, my friends, the club I am, don't want these dudes just come over here taking over, terrorizing. Like, lady was beat up last week, probably hurt. A dude come running up in the building in Culver Stone, beating a little boy because the little boy splashed some water on his pants. And so we don't like this. We don't want nobody to just come over and take over. So what we do, we retaliate, because we feel that since we can't get out these ghettos, we're going to have to live there. And so we see them every day jumping on the news.
Captain Buckney, is it your belief that the Chicago Police Department should bust the gangs completely?
Certainly. I think it's a situation that I do not agree with those people who say that you can't break them up and that you must deal with them.
In 1969, the captain of the Chicago Police Department was a black guy.
Ned Ryerson.
You can bring him. Go ahead, Barry.
Okay.
This is some of the stuff you're trying to get rid of.
Yes, this writing on the walls, we would like to see it leave from the black community. It doesn't prove anything.
Very hot. Okay, Barry. This some of the stuff you're trying to get rid of?
Yes, this writing up on the buildings here, we don't approve of, and we'd like to see it erased from the black community.
Barry, how can you stop
Shots
the
ring out.
killing that goes on in this neighborhood by the Rangers and the Disciples?
Well, I don't know how we could stop it, but I'm sure if we ever got the authority, we could get the black leaders together in this community and come up with something. I think it's going to take the people and the black leaders in this community to put a stop to this.
Well, what's the attitude of your organization toward the killings and the gangs that infest the neighborhood?
Well, it's just like VC action to us. After being in Vietnam, they work the same way as the enemy did over there, and they're enemies to the black community. They aren't killing anybody but black people. The women are afraid to come home in the black community, so it's the same type of action as the VC used over in Vietnam.
It's Vietnam all over.
Yes, it is.
Well, what's to be done about it?
Like I said, we're going to have to get the people interested in to come out.
So they called this Vietnam back in those days, and now today they call it Chirac. Nothing has changed, man.
Don't be afraid. We're going to have to come up with some kind of programs to give them protection and to come out and
Go.
I bet one of the people in the frame is still alive.
1969?
Yeah, maybe one.
Long fucking time ago. Baby.
Oh, shut up. Oh, they just getting in the way. Come on, dude, I want.
Nothing's changed. That guy's telling him there was no moon landing. Certainly, there's got to be more carjackings now than there were back then.
How you know your teacher's gonna let you go?
The
How
word
you know your
didn't
teacher's
even
gonna let
exist
you
back
go? Don't be curious about this with your sister out here. Don't be curious about because your sister out here.
Same shit, man. Same shit. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
I do kind of get when people at least say though that like at least folks talked, more comprehensible English back then.
Yeah, definitely.
The sons now like speak a fully different like African
I don't know.
dialect.
You'd think, but then you saw that guy that was speaking on behalf of Karmelo.
Well, he was just retarded, I think. Like he wasn't speaking Ebonics really. He's just a retard. But like a lot of black people are.
There were definitely more Sun people back then who could speak more properly.
Yeah.
All of them seem to speak properly. When we watch these things, they all speak very good English, but they were the same behavior.
Oh, the behavior will never change. It was always like that, always.
Yeah, we just hip hop, through hip hop and through different things, we've created a sub dialect, and yeah, jeez Christ, wow.
And when we look through all these old videos, like the Juice Crew and the Gliders, they're working pretty hard here. They're trying to really like make a real people out of the Sons, but they just can't seem to get it done. These programs, these fucking interviews, these interventions, all this shit to try to get these folks to like just be somewhat normal and have somewhat normal communities.
Yeah, it's very hard, Ben, when you got people that like wouldn't have created this on their own.
Yeah, it it's it's just like the antisocial behaviorhood. That's what I really think what it comes down to. Like you just if you have these folks that were really built to, basically live in Africa in a desert almost in small little like tribes, it just doesn't scale up well, I guess.
You can't like re-engineer that in, you know what I'm saying? You can't, like, they're trying to like re-engineer
Like
they're
a
basically
50,000 years of evolution, basically.
yeah, yeah. They're
Overwrite the
trying to
hard
like
drive.
yeah, exactly. Trying to override it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and the hard drive is like this is the type of this computer was made without an adapter for a new. It don't have like a USB port or
No, not at all.
You can't plug in a new hard drive and shit. It just
doesn't work. But that's why other folks though, like there's kind of a spectrum, right? Like Suns are on the bottom, and probably like Australian Aboriginals are probably even below Suns. But then like other groups can be normal within a generation within living in America. Like if you bring a Chinese person over here, they also built something over there and had some sort of a society and didn't evolve identically the way Europeans did, but they had something.
They had a written language.
Oh, so, yeah, they had a written language before gliders did.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the written language, it's important, man. When you don't have that, your society really, your language is dead, and your society is pretty much stagnant because you can't learn from mistakes. You can't keep history. You can't keep track of things.
With a written language, you get science. Without it, you get magic and voodoo.
See, I used to kind of agree with that statement you just made, but even now I'm not sure, because like, how do you explain Britain then before, the Roman Empire? They didn't just evolve within the last 2,000 years to, start producing Nobel Prizes. So I think by that point, evolution had already kind of occurred, written language or not. And the way we think and our average like psychological profile between racial groups has been the same for many thousands of years already at this point.
I just want to say this, burner account, going off the written language thing. I read a book, I forget the name of it, but it was about a guy who lived in Africa for 20 years, and he encountered a tribe of people, or a group of people in Kenya called the Kikuyu, and one woman he encountered, when he was reading a dictionary, she was shocked. She's like, "You don't know all the words to your language?" Well, that's the problem with written language. That's the thing with like not having written language, is like the average amount of words we use per day is like around 2,000. But with written language, like, we're able to have like hundreds of thousands of words. We can have multiple concepts.
Words you don't know, because you would have to know every word in the language because you're the only thing that records it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And like the English language has like 400,000 words, so we can like have the concept there, and whatever we don't have in our mind, we could just go back and look at it again.
No,
like,
I get that, but how do you explain like how do you explain Britain then before the Roman Empire when they didn't have that?
Well, they were also kind of primitive too, but once they got that later on, I think they got it like 2,000 years ago when the Romans they brought their alphabet there. Like that's what the English language uses, the Latin alphabet. And then
exactly.
over years, like, they just had more time to develop.
No, come on. That's not how it works. Like, you don't. 2,000.
We all have the same amount of time to develop.
2,000 years is not a long enough time to evolve from primitive glider savages pre-Roman Empire into the most advanced society in the world post-Roman Empire within 2,000 years. I think at that point already, written language or not, our psychological profiles were already basically written in stone at that point. And yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man.
There's a video you should probably check out called "The European Revolution" by Alternative Hypothesis on BitChute. He'll definitely go into that. I could post a link if you want.
Like, well, wouldn't you at least concede this? Wouldn't it seem odd, given how we talk about sons and the fact that they had no written language and they act like savages? Wouldn't it seem odd then that you would have gliders in Britain that did the opposite? Language was introduced to them and they did the opposite of being a savage. They used that to create, in the future to present day, like the most advanced societies in the world. So just doesn't that seem a bit strange?
It could also
I guess.
It could also be processed out that, well, they never. We're looking at the problem from the wrong end of the telescope. No, they never had written language because they never had the sort of biological endowment to have them create such a thing. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not what kept them savages is not that they didn't have written language. What kept them savages was that they didn't have the capacity to create it. You can't change the biology of the person by introducing them to the tech of written language.
That's true. Like gliders are just built differently, yeah.
But still, again, 2,000 years is just not enough time. I can't imagine great changes occurring in that small time period relative to, the age of man. So that's kind of how I look at it. Or else if your hypothesis is true, then what? We need 1,500 more years, then suns will be normal, because that will be, 2,000, right? But I don't think
that's not how it works.
Yeah, it's not going to work that way. It doesn't matter how much time they have living in Western society or whatever. It's just kind of like our DNA and our profiles are what they are, especially because when you take into account at this point, we're not really there's not really evolutionary pressures that are on human beings anymore in the same way that there used to be, because Western society and medicine and stuff has basically made it impossible to die for the most part before you pass on your genes. So I think everything right now is kind of locked in place in a genetic view, basically.
No, I agree. It definitely was evolutionary pressures that gave the races their differences. And I think by us bringing that technology, cultures definitely kept them from evolving on their own or something like that. We definitely interfered with the natural order in ways that we definitely shouldn't have. I agree with you, Burner Count.
Well, I don't know that we did it on purpose. It kind of just happened because gliders travel around the world. I don't because there are pockets of the earth where, in Brazil, for example, they have Amazon tribes. Are you saying we should have done that with sun people? Kept them in their little exhibit?
I mean, yeah, I guess it's just what has our exposure done for them? It just hasn't improved their baseline. Well, I mean, it's improved their quality of life, but it hasn't changed who they were. And now it's just now it's created a parasitic relationship where they can't contribute for us, but they can't live without it.
Yeah, no, I get your frustration. I see what you're saying.
Did we lose him? I think he got quieter.
Yeah, I'm right here, man.
No, not you.
Oh. Yeah, man. I'm just letting y'all go, man, because it is I do need to get up in the morning and take my kids to school. Wow. So yeah, I need to get some rest, man. Salute, man. Great show, guys. Any final thoughts?
Salute.
Not really.
Shout out to Boy Kachuk.
Salute,
He
y'all.
said the Welsh for the original English language is crazy. Shout out to you, man. Same black time, same black channel.